Seeing slide.
We still good? Okay. All right, so anyway, I'm going to show you some of the physical materials that we will be using throughout this time. I've got a lot of dichroic. I've got some dichroic cubes, just some prisms. We have a lot of stuff that we've actually made from dichroic. So as you can see, we've got a lot of nice, cool colors going on there. I'll also be using a double convex lens. I've got different light sources that I'll be using, flashlights of different brightnesses, because sometimes we can get a little too blown out. Lots and lots of mirrors. I have some small circular mirrors. What I'm gonna have to turn the camera to show you guys is that this whole area here is enclosed in mirrors. So we've got a mirror overhead, I've got a makeup mirror that I'll be moving around, and a mirror right in front of me. So we'll get a lot of interesting things going on with that. I also have some photo negatives that I'll be using. Obviously you're not going to be able to see those too well right now, but I'll be using that with one thing that I have that is actually down below me, and I'll see if I can show you guys this. I actually have a TV down here that just produces static. So that will be used with those negatives to give nice backlighting to those. And I also have a plasma ball, which is fun to use. And as you can see on my cart over here, I've got some other dichroic pieces just kind of around and about on there. So I believe that is all of my stuff. The camera that I'm using right now is actually a document camera, so that I can manipulate it very easily. It's a lot easier than using like a DSLR, because it has a nice arm on it, and I can put it down over my table, up at the mirror, shining down, all kinds of different things to get that going. So here's Paul.
Hi. So, let's see, make sure we don't unplug this. I have not tried this, so let's see. Oh boy. So this is the synth setup area. It looks bigger than the patch that we are currently using. Honestly, it is mostly just a visual cortex, memory palace, and a structure. And then there's some like mixer feedback going on with the V440. I am not going to be doing a ton. I'm going to give that back to you so I don't drop it. I'm not going to be doing a ton of synthesis in it. I'm not going to be going super crazy in this one. Not using a bunch of modules. We're really trying to focus on the physical aspects of things and just trying to build on top of that.
So the first thing that we are going to be using is, this is actually a pottery banding wheel, so that I can get some spinning going on. And I actually have my fidget spinner. We work with children, so when fidget spinners were popular, I had to get one for myself. So we are gonna start with this, doing some spinning in opposite directions that gives some really interesting movement. I've also got some of our paper marbling pieces that we'll be using on this as well. And I also will be using some of my mirrors with a faceted lens on top, and this will look better once we turn off the lights, but just using that over top, some fairy lights over top of that, spinning that around, getting some interesting effects. And then I also have a dichroic cube. You put that on top of the mirror, and with lighting it from the side, you'll end up seeing that that gives a really crazy effect once we get going. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of this, and then we'll move on to our next kind of piece. So for now, I am going to start with this.
All right, so we're gonna do that. We're not currently watching the stream, so this might be like dirty business. We'll see. All right. So, when rotating on a rotation, the one thing that you really want to do is rotate some more. Oh yeah, there we go. Start to get in some real, okay, lights are off.
It's getting serious now.
Screen looks great. Oh, perfect. I love to hear
Yay!
that. So we're gonna let that spin for a second. All right, make sure that's working. All right, so we like this. The spinning and spinning and spinning is awfully fun.
Not if you spin too fast.
But sometimes it is dangerous. Ah!
Can't keep it on.
That is exactly why we've separated our stations.
Don't want flying metal objects near the system.
So we're just doing a little bit of spinning and spinning. Now, on the structure, we have a fairly simple slit scanning patch going on with a little bit of feedback. That's pretty much going to run throughout this whole... it'll probably run on this patch for like the whole thing. I really like slit scanning on physical objects, especially with movement, because it helps really temporally displace things.
To answer your question, the blue disc is a banding wheel for pottery.
All right, so coming back into here, we'll put those with each other a little bit. All right. Yeah. So next thing, what you adding in here? We're gonna get that paper marbling going. Stop the spinning. And let's pull in a shape. All right, so we've got some paper marbling spinning. Paper marbling is, of course, a very fun thing to do. And if you run kids camps or have after-school programs with kids, you are probably familiar with paper marbling because it is something that they really enjoy doing. So that's why we have a surplus of it. And we're doing a little bit memory palace feedback going on here. We like this. Trying to keep the colors very much the same. The slit scanning is the erogenous tone structure. I know Andre is working on a slit scan thing. You can also do slit scanning and scrawl, which is something I'd probably show off later. But there are a couple different ways to do slit scanning right now. All right, so let's do a little bit of X and Y with this, because X and Y with spinning and the paper marbling stuff, I think just looks really fun. Yeah. I'm gonna let that set for I don't know if we're gonna be able to do piano during it.
Maybe once we get to a different part.
Yeah, once we get to the end part. We had pre-recorded this, and there was piano playing during all of this stuff. There was music. It was all kinds of greatness. We'll have to upload that later.
The biggest thing that we're trying to point out with all of this is that if you create something that is visually interesting, before you even start processing it, you can create a much simpler patch and end up with something that is super complex looking with just a very, very basic patch. Let me pull this up a little bit. This is that dichroic cube on top of the mirror. And I'm going to be using the faceted lens that I showed you.
Doing a little slit scanning on this.
Oops.
Look at that faceted lens. There we go. Oh, that gets into some fun stuff. Let's bring our shape in. Maybe bring a little bit of wave pool in. So wave pool is sitting after structure. Oh no, we don't want it like that. We want it like this. Wave pool is set up after structure right now. Structure is getting the output of memory palace. So if we turn wave pool all the way off, we're just seeing structure, turn it on, and then we get some fun stuff. Turn the delay up a little bit here. So slit scanning plus a video delay, or going into a video delay with a little bit of rotation, brings this really fun kind of like drawing thing that we're seeing here. And then I'm overlaying there we go, overlaying the other feed on top of that. All right, so take that out, come back over, let's do that. Turn this on. All right, so what have you got going on there?
This is just some fairy lights over top of the faceted lens that's sitting on top of the mirror.
All right, so we got a little picture-in-picture with the wave pool. Oh, I'm sorry, wave pool and structure. This one needs a little bit of color, maybe. Oh, we bring that out. There we go. Cut into that a little bit. All right, so getting some of this stuff going. Let's move you. Turn that down. All right, what are you thinking?
I think we can move on to the next bit.
Yeah. Fairy lights are definitely super helpful to have in this kind of setup.
Definitely. All right, I'm going to turn on a light so you're not left in the dark.
That on.
All right, the next thing that I'm going to be using is that TV that I talked about. Bring this over here. Bring this in a little bit. Turn that light off. All right. So with this setup, what we're going to do is I'm actually, there's a built-in filter in our actual document camera. So I'm just going to flip on the negative filter for that so that you guys can see the negatives how they should actually appear. So I've got a bunch of different interesting images that were given to us by a friend, and I'm trying to find the right one. There we go. Okay, so let me flip around a little bit. All right, so as you can see, you get this interesting noise going on an image. One of the coolest things that I discovered over top of the static television is using this double convex lens. You get a lot of crazy movement from it picking up those small bits of static that happens. And if you look closely at this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks like the girl is moving to us when we show it like that. It's pretty strange, kind of a really strange effect on that. Another cool thing that we like to do with this is actually using those dichroic cubes again on top of it. They produce a lot of interesting color when you just set them on top of the screen, and use that with the faceted lens as well, and you get those colors splitting into multiple pieces with the noise in the background. So I think we're going to start with the negatives and kind of play with that for a little bit and see what we can get.
All right, let's get her working here. Record a little section on here. So we're going to record something with Escher Sketch. I need to turn that colorization down on this, 'cause we want it black and white. Just recording a little bit of movement here.
We may be wizards. Potentially.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and loop that Escher sketch, slow it down, smooth it out. Alright, let that move a little bit. Let's introduce that threshold modulation again because, God, it's fun.
As you can see, the girl is pretty much reduced to dots. That is no processing. That is just the lens doing that with the static and how it reacts with the camera. Let's try a different lady. Let's try my favorite one that makes me laugh hysterically every time I do it. All right.
Turn that color down.
So we've got this nice lady that we don't know. But we've also got this lady that might be the same lady with the same head tilt. Fun thing to do is put her face over the other face and then you get tiny lady face. Hold up. I gotta get the right angle. There we go. Look at her. Look at her little face. It's my favorite thing. She looks so dumb. Oh no, it's slid. Wait.
Turn that smoothing down.
Alright, wait. Alright, so now let's check out Tiny Face. Let's see where she's at. There she is.
There she is.
Look at her. She's beautiful.
We found her.
I love her. She's my best friend. Stacking negatives, always interesting.
Oh yes.
So then the more I distance myself, the more noise I get with that lens. As you can see, we get a lot of strange behaviors.
Starts to introduce some color.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely see the the frame rate, like us not being synced with that TV, which is kind of a nice thing in there. Interesting.
All right, so Tiny Lady Face, she's going away.
Tiny lady.
One thing that we found interesting is one of our negatives has a really orange hue to it, and when you bring it up close, the static turns orange.
Does it?
It does. You can't see that?
It does.
Just a strange thing that happens there.
Which, I can admit, maybe for the video synthesis crew to see, some an orange colorization may not be super amazing, but that's just coming from.
Yeah, just naturally. It's
just
not
from
no
picture.
Processing, just a picture.
Get that modulation back in there.
Get this cowboy going.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeehaw.
What's his name?
His name, what is it? Our best wishes to our friend Joe. So I guess this might be Joe with the fake mustache.
Could be.
And maybe this is like his caricature? I don't know. We may never know. We can only make up stories about the pictures that we have because we don't know where they came from.
But the guy's moving to Texas, right?
Yeah, I think he's moving to Texas, and it says something about a snake pit. I don't know. Rattlesnake pit. And then just because I have to, beep beep, vroom vroom.
Oh wait, we gotta stop the spinning for that.
Oh, so yeah.
Turn off the modulation.
Yeah.
We gotta spotlight that.
We gotta get the color.
Circle it. Get out of paint mode. Let's get into that warp mode. So that bring that down. Vroom, vroom. Wait, we need to draw it with the ushers. Turn the loop off. Vroom, 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 vroom.
We gotta turn it. Okay, this is getting too ridiculous. All right, we gotta move on. We're getting too ridiculous. All right, so let's.
The best.
It was pretty good, but We can't just play with cars all day. The chat is probably like, what's wrong with these people? Alright, so we got some dichroic on there, that faceted lens. Let's get some weird colors going. Oh, gotta switch off a negative mode. I mean, we don't have to, but
Yeah.
might as well.
Get them colors in there.
Get the real colors.
Cool. Let's do some mirroring for this, because fingers and mirroring are always good fun. Even if you can't see them. You can still tell they're there, like little spider legs creeping around the edges. Let's boost that saturation up a little bit. Bring some color in.
Oh yeah, I was gonna play with one of my dichroic pyramids that I have too over this. It definitely makes for more fun in the mixing of colors.
Ooh. That out. Yeah. Let's pull these out and do tile reflection. Bring in some stuff like that. All right. So that is the dichroics on the TV. Turn those off. Get that going again. Put these in.
All right.
So, you ready to move on?
I think so. So that's our lovely static television that is a lot of fun to play with. Cool discoveries that happened with all of that. I guess I could turn this so you can see me while I'm trying to like get stuff ready, maybe.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oops, I passed myself. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, I'm upside down. Cool. So right now I'm putting the TV away and I'm gonna pull out my plasma ball. I'm going to actually set this up with my mirror so that we can get a little bit of feedback. So bear with me while I get this kind of set up.
One of the nice things about this particular Australian stream, wow. One of the nice things about this kind of document cam is it does have a rotate, which is just a 180-degree rotate button on the actual camera.
Wrong button.
Ah, it's a filter.
There it is.
Cool.
I feel like we're up a little hot. There we go. Now we're getting there.
Pause that. Cool. That's what we want.
Yeah, so as you can see, we're feeding back using the mirror and pointing it back at the television, so, or my monitor specifically. So this one is more of a patch that Paul plays with. This one stays pretty standard on my end.
Alright, so bring in a shape, do a little bit of mirroring, bring in some rotation. Yeah, just about something like that. Looks nice. What's ours? Okay, so we got some feedback going over here, and structure is what we want. Yeah, you like this. that feedback. So let's bring in that feedback. There we go. Over the top of itself. Yep. Get them colors going. Bring that. All right, get that feedback. But let's do this instead. No, that's not it. What's that? There we go. All right, so let's do some picture-in-picture feedback. Then key it with the original image, and then key that with our other one. Cool. And turn that loop back on. Playback speed all the way down. So really, like I said before, this I think I forgot to include doorway, but the only LZX stuff we've really been using for this is Visual Cortex, doorway, Escher Sketch, Memory Palace, prismatic rays shown up a couple times. It's not LZX, but the structure's up here. And I am using the pulp logic comparators and a couple just like passive switches in order to do the shape making, which is pretty much all that's been happening, is just making shapes in either warp mode or paint mode on Memory Palace, and then different combinations of those things. Oof, I like this. Yowza. Oops. Check out, dude. All right, so let's boost this a little bit. That in there. So, okay. This. All right, so there's that picture-in-picture feedback kind of showing up on top right now for a second. And there she is again. Picture-in-picture feedback is just so much fun, especially when you're keying with it. Get that kind of tunnel stuff going on. Switch back over, and we have this. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks great. This is better than the stuff we recorded earlier. So.
Yeah, I think so. It just doesn't have piano playing underneath of it.
Just no piano playing underneath.
This is like looping. I'll play piano for just a second, just for fun. right, that's enough piano for now. So are we good on the laser dazer?
Yeah, we're good on the plasma ball.
All right.
500,000 plasma balls in a mirror. There you go.
Howdy. Put you back.
I'm back.
Bringing you in here. Oh.
All right. So the next thing that I have to get set up is playing with a lot more of the dichroic that I showed you guys at the beginning. I have to grab some stuff to kind of get it together. All right, so get this box in the middle. The mirror up next to that. I've got just a pad of black paper that I'm going to set down for my base so that you can see more of the colors on that. Let me shine this back at that so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll adjust as I go. So first I'm just going to set up some of the dichroic cubes on this space.
Can I get this any lighter?
I have my exposure turned down from that last thing.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to have this off
Great.
too. This light will be off, and this will be the one that's on.
All right, yeah.
Is that bright enough?
Yes, that will work.
All right, so as you can see, all of this dichroic shines in multiple different directions. They are X cubes, so let me move some of these over so you guys can see a little bit better. As you can see, we get the 4 different colors happening off of that. It's kind of hard to see from the angle that we're at, but when you put them all around each other, they shine through each other and break off into all of those different color patterns. So oops.
All right, flipping us.
Zooming in a little bit.
Let's see the big prism. Let's go.
See if I can see what I'm doing here. So as you can see, we're kind of getting more of that like infinity mirror effect going on just by tilting some of the mirrors. So we can also add in some other pieces to this as well. There's that's just a little piece of dichroic film to break things up a little bit more. Let's try one of our bigger pieces and see what that does. Our big cubes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we've made that cube.
Yeah, that cube is one that you put together. It's just, I think this is what the like 4x4 squares that have a beveled edge.
Yeah.
And then they have the dichroic film on the inside, I believe. I don't know if we're bright enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna boost the contrast
Let
here.
me see if I can get my exposure up a little bit too. Maybe. That a little bit better?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's just, this is a dark portion of it. Okay.
So,
And some of these.
the other thing that we can do too is tip up and just show how these look from above. Oops, a little too far.
Yeah. All right.
So let me take this back out again because we're not getting a whole lot of color off that.
No, not really. No.
Right. try to keep the flashlight on this as I try to grab another piece with one hand. Alright. Let's pull this one back down because this one's fun to look at a million times. There we go. This is just small dichroic sticks of glass stuck into a piece of foam.
Foam is definitely really nice to kind of play around with the dichroic glass, as opposed to just glass that you make with and that you adhere dichroic film to. Dichroic glass is much more expensive. Dichroic film is very cheap, and it is much better to actually like see if you like the way things sit together than having to really like buy into that and then decide you don't like it later. Bring these in. Bring in some more color. And I think we'll do paint. All right.
Alright, so I'm gonna try to pull another piece in here. Without breaking anything. Alright. Let's see one of our big triangles, what we can do with that.
Somebody said we needed some lasers.
Oh, okay.
We're not really going to get around to the laser stuff that we do today, but we do have like a laser pointer. It's not showing up on here because I'm doing dumb stuff.
I mean, I can point a laser through it.
It was looking cool from back here.
There we go. There's your laser. Woo!
There we go. Now it looks red. Bring that down. Alright, so we're gonna take
Alright, I gotta get this. Okie dokie.
alright.
Might as well just throw that faceted lens in front of it and see what we can get. There we go.
All right. Cool. That's doing some neat stuff. I need to make this bigger so we can see it. Yeah. All right, so now we're kind of painting. Let's get that color eyes on. Let it sort of cycle around. And shape down. Whoa. Hey, that's what structure's doing. That's what structure's doing. Got the wave pool going on here. Let's bring that delay time down.
That's the noise that delays make.
Not just the wave pool.
Oh, just the wave pool.
All right, back to the paint. Nah.
Nah, not gonna do that. Never mind.
All right, let's do them both.
All right, wait. Oh, my leg is asleep. Oh no! Trying to wake up my leg. Whoop. Yeah, lots of interesting colors that you, especially with the dichroic and using the faceted lens. Anywhere you move that, either the flashlight or the lens, you're gonna end up with producing different colors that are reflecting off of that dichroic.
It's very cool. I wonder if we can just do the whole piece in front of the camera.
Sure, let's try that. Let me clear some stuff out really quick. So,
alright, so
we're gonna be kind of dark for a second. I guess I could just turn this on and show you what's going on. Bah. Alright, let me get this out of the way before I break it.
Oh, there we are. Still with a little bit of structure in the background.
All right, these are just a bunch of pieces of dichroic. They're in varying transparencies and.
Does this need to come back?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want it to.
I mean, can we do it like at the camera? Because like looking at it.
Maybe like straight through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
Yeah, and getting the camera like down and kind of like looking up through it. Because looking into that like dichroic maze is really where the magic is at.
So I'm gonna turn off this front light then and probably shine my light through it.
Yeah, the dichroic stuff is so much fun.
Actually, I'm gonna need a brighter light than that, I think.
Let's turn that off so we're just looking at this. You alright?
Yeah, it scared me. I knocked over a flashlight. Startled me.
Oh yeah.
So definitely seeing the reflection in this of the TV too. So it's causing some interesting stuff to happen.
Let's turn on some mirroring. Because this is the kind of stuff that's really fun for mirroring. Because it's already doing so much. Oh yes. Where's... Okay. And then the slit scanning version of this looks very nice. Let's put a little bit more feedback in there. Bring in some wave pool. Let's... You know what? That's not going to work. Love this juicy kind of color feedback stuff. It's great. What time are we at?
3:56.
Oh, good God, we gotta like go. We're just like doing this all day, I guess. About ready to just like keep going.
Yeah, I think we're about out of time.
Is there anything else that we wanted to like?
I think we covered just about everything. It's just that big point of, you know, you create visual art before putting it into your system, you're gonna come up with super complex things, and the light.
The dichroic.
Oh, you want that out? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna end up with some really interesting stuff happening as far as your patches, and they can be super simple and end up with some wild and crazy wizard-like things, I guess. We're wizards.
Let's see. Can we bring that banding wheel back with
Sure.
the paper marbling? Because I would like to go out with some structure, as I believe the next talk is about structure. Feel like that would make some sense. And the paper marbling stuff is really my favorite. Oh, back to live cam.
Do what?
What do you need?
Oh, I was just getting the banding wheel back. I need space.
Oh, they're saying. Ah. Okay, so we do have a little bit more time. They're planning on starting at 4:15.
Oh.
Since we got a little bit late.
Okay, well we can play with the banding wheel a little bit more. We also could throw that marble piece on.
Oh yeah, let's do the. Oh yeah.
Let me turn on the.
Yeah, let's do the structure real quick, and then that marble, because that stuff's cool.
All right, so let me bring down the brightness on this a little bit. We're too low. Too hot. Too hot.
All right, so really just want to get back and do some simple mirroring on the banding wheel with paper marbling. It just looks so nice. I absolutely love it. Bring it back to its original color. Can you do a little bit more slow?
Sure.
And then let's turn a spin on.
Are we going in opposite directions?
I think so. Let's see. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
This is like one of my favorite things right here. Spinning on the memory palace in the opposite direction that the banding wheel is spinning, so you just get this like mind distortion. Absolutely love this. The XY stuff, absolutely love it with the banding wheel and some kind of really cool drawing, whether it's ink stuff, whatever. All right, so let's switch up to get that going. Let's do that.
Marble?
Marble. So this is a marble thing. We used UV glue, I believe, to put it together. Just some sticky tack and time, and it doesn't give off a whole lot of light when you put stuff through it. There's some cool stuff that goes on, but it looks really nice and it's very shiny. So something that is really fun that we haven't done at all this whole time is switching the aux mode over to mesh. Oops. Maybe take that out. I forget. Oh boy. Okay, there we are. We're back. Where is it at? Why? This one? Not seeming to get what I was hoping for. I haven't done this as much. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is it. Yeah. All right, bring this way down. Slow our oscillator down. So this is a prismatic ray going into the aux input of Memory Palace. Let's bring it down. Bring it kind of back into frame here because we're kind of off. All right, so the mesh mode, so that we are doing some like vertex displacement sort of stuff. And just really slow undulations brought on with the prismatic ray, simple banding wheel, and this marble construction. I feel like this was a really, really fun look. Let's see if we can bring that back. I don't know that we can. Oops. All right. So, anything else we want to do?
I do have these pieces too.
Oh yeah, those gel pieces.
This is just a PVA glue with inks. So a little bright. Let me see if I can bring down that. Yeah, that's all right, I guess.
That cable must not be very good. We're gonna take it out. Do some mesh displacement stuff.
Let me bring on the regular lights, because this kind of stuff looks better with our normal lights, I think.
All right.
I'll kill that.
So we just got some mesh displacement going on with that shape that we had created earlier. Oh, got our light off.
Bring our exposure back up. Still too dark, or is that all right?
No, we're good. That's totally fine. Yep, that is good. I'm not going to keep going on the mesh displacement, though. Oops. All right. I think that is probably about... let's see. Oh, yeah, that piece is cool. Invert this because I'm on the wrong dang thing. Cool. All right, now bring that what?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, if people have questions or want to see something in particular again in more detail, just throw that in the chat, because we do have a little bit more time.
We are located in Florida, southwest Florida, on an island. Yeah, we do have some time, so if there are any questions about anything, we would love to answer it. Right now we're keying the memory palace shape over the erogenous tone structure, doing that slit scanning. We can bring that wave pool stuff in, being real silly. It takes a second because we're kind of on like a
delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we were.
Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Wait a little bit longer, wait for that, see if anybody has any questions.
Sure.
No, everything's getting mixed in the V440. Structure is just kind of in the background right here. It's mainly been the DVI output from Memory Palace going into an Extron switcher into the HD side of the V440. Yeah, we play a lot with cameras and feedback and mirrors. It's a lot of fun. One thing that we wanted to do that we clearly didn't have time for was more like Lumia based stuff. So we got all the way up to what do you do once the practical stuff is in the video synth. The next piece would be getting a projector and then playing with a lot of these same things. A lot of the dichroic film, the dichroic glass, doing feedback in that way. One thing that I've had the most fun with is doing a Lumia setup and then doing camera feedback on that Lumia setup. It's just out of this world. So we'll probably do a live stream about that kind of stuff since we didn't get the time for it. Any programs you're using? No. Well, Wavepool's getting used on the Raspberry Pi. I was going to use Structure, but I use Wavepool for this. Anything like that would be really helpful. So here again, let's take the Wavepool off. So we are just on beautiful Structure. Thank you. I think we're done, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered the stuff that we wanted to get through. It's a lot of fun just to play with physical objects with your system, making neat things happen just from objects you can find laying around your house and or make, and I don't know. We have a lot of fun incorporating touchable things, I think, into the system.
Yeah, and we're just going to keep growing on that process. So thank you, everyone, for coming and watching. Super glad to have been able to participate in Vidicon this year. We've seen a lot of the stuff these last couple nights, and it's really, really interesting. I'm super excited, like I said, to watch Rick Burnett and crew for the erogenous tone structure. And thank you to Lars and all the LZX people for making crazy equipment for us to play around with.
Yeah, and thank you again for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Do a camera?
Oh, yeah.
Or do we put it in the mirror or something?
We can put it in the mirror and show
Yeah, I mean, it should
ourselves,
be,
like, yeah, why didn't yeah.
Bye!
You're there. I'm here. Hey. Bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye!
Bye.